being very conscious and intentional that this is going to, the best year yet, is tapping to the energy of certainty, tapping to the energy of knowing. And that's the highest energy of confidence, if you like. By claiming it, by taking that decision, you're kind of activating inevitability that it is going to happen. And if you are able not only to set it in January, but of course to maintain that level of knowing and certainty and believe, that is going to proper realization success of whatever you envision for this year. This is where is the starting point. Welcome to 2025 and the very first episode of Extraordinary Leadership Podcast. My name is Dagmar Asperg. I'm transformational executive coach, helping senior and executive leaders to embody extraordinary leadership, step into authentic and bold leaders who lead positive and meaningful change in organizations and build highly performing and thriving teams with far more ease and fulfillment. I really hope that you have started this year joyfully. And of course, I'm wishing you all the best prosperity, health, and success in the 2025. And today in this episode, that is really the first episode of this year, I want to talk about how you can set up yourself for a successful 2025, how you can set up yourself for having the best year yet. And I want to share with you those couple of steps that I do for myself and also together with my clients. So it made a difference in my life, in my business, in my leadership, and of course, in those of leaders that I have honored to guide as well. In the last years, I became personally extremely interested in those leaders that achieve extraordinary success not by working harder and burning themselves out and being in that pushy energy, but those who tapped into something different, something out of ordinary, I call, right? So my very, very first curiosity and deep dive was actually to work of Vishen Lankiani, who is a CEO of Mind Valley, and this wonderful book of Code of Extraordinary. If you haven't read it yet, it's definitely one of a recommendation to read, where it gave me a glimpse of doing things differently and tapping really to your potential, to your power of the mind. And over the last years, also, I discovered the power of energy, unpacking that other world of our human potential and consciousness has allowed me to, discover different ways that I was not aware about a couple of years back when I was still in the corporate world that really made sense and brought a lot of passion and interest into embracing it. I have developed a process that each year, of course, I'm expanding based on my own journey and discoveries. And I want to share with you steps that this process contains. And this is exactly what I do this month. So number one, successful extraordinary leaders are not hoping for the best to come, but deciding that this year or that the year to come is going to be best year yet. It means better than last year. It goes about the decision. It goes about the sense of knowing, the sense of expectation that it is going to happen. And behind the scenes, what it is actually tapping to the law of assumption of and expectations, which says that whatever we believe and vision has a high likelihood to be actually realized, to come into fruition, to come into life, simply because we tap to the power of energy, power of mind, and shaping also what, our brain and mind is going to help us to achieve. So being very conscious and intentional that this is going to be best year yet is tapping to the energy of certainty, tapping to the energy of knowing. And that's the highest energy of confidence, if you like. By claiming it, by taking that decision, you're kind of activating inevitability that it is going to happen. And if you are able not only to set it in January, but of course to maintain that level of knowing and certainty and believe, that is going to proper realization success of whatever you envision for this year. This is where is the starting point. And coming to Dubai, as a family, we declared that we are going to move from Germany 3 years ago. And we, of course, done that trials a couple of years back. But that year felt different because that was an anchored decision. That was a firm decision. It is going to happen. And guess what? Within 2 months, we had a destination and almost ready file to go. And in business, last year, I intuitively knew and that I'm going to start a group program where I will bring things from energy work that I have embraced in the last years through great coaches I worked with, because I knew that that's the next level of leadership and evolution and consciousness. And it happened, and it brought to fantastic results as well as transformation to my clients. And of course, propelled me and inspired me to do more of that kind of work this year. So that certainty, that knowing is the very first step that you can activate in this month of January. And of course, you want to cultivate that feeling, that state during a whole year, which of course is a game of mind, emotions, and alignment. So number one, decide that it's going to be the best year yet. Number two, it's about vision boards. So you see, those extraordinary successful people are setting themselves clear, intentional, and specific vision, and they put it in a very tangible way. Most of them are doing a vision boards. I don't know what are your beliefs about vision boards. I started vision boarding in 2020. That was my very first, or 2019, I think. That was my very first time that I went into the world of vision boarding. And that time I was, looking on the internet, what is the way to do it, and educating myself. And frankly speaking, that vision boards were more words and some pictures, right? First of all. And they did work, but not as much as those that I, of course, create now. So my journey of discovering, understanding the power behind the vision boards has grew in the last years. One of them was hiring one of the coach in the realm, who Debbie Sluice, who is also has been in the podcast show last year, learning from her, and then also learning from my other coach, Lenka Lutonska, about the energy work has been transformational in how to understand what the vision boards are even about. And it is about, first of all, getting very clear on what you want. Because again, this clarity, this specificity of what you want in this year is going to enable your mind and energy to help you to get there. The more clear we are, the more focused we are going to be about what we really want, and more intentional in our actions and our choices and our decisions. But when you put that specific, intentional, and aligned from within vision, aligned from your highest potential, not just put random things on the vision board, when you really create it from the aligned place of who you really are and what's your potential, what is that higher self potential that you carry within, then it becomes really a powerful, inspiring and propelling your action compass. Because that's what vision board also is about, is creating a compass and helping you to make empowered choices every day, or filter your decisions and choices from that. The vision board is actually a decision board. So the pictures that you choose to put there need to come from a deeper process of connecting with yourself and finding really from your authentic place what is really that you want for yourself, in your business, in your life, holistically, in different areas in your life for this year and beyond, and finding the pictures that really align with that carry that high vibrational energy, that inspire you and that you want to look at. And the interesting part that happens from the subconscious point of view is that those pictures, when you look at them on a daily basis, you put it somewhere that you can see, of course, on a daily basis, and you can even do more than just look. You can connect with it energetically too. That's what I do. That's what I also bring to my clients. But just a simple having it around you and looking at these pictures, somehow it taps or lands in your subconscious mind. And we know that 95% of our actions, behaviors, choices, decisions are shaped by subconscious autopilot. So a vision board is by default a transformational tool. It's one of a tool that can help you to rewire your subconscious and take then much more easier the aligned decisions and choices. Now, let me give you one example. The very first vision board that I created from that intentional and aligned place, where I put myself, I think, speaking on a stage, and I would not kid you, within 2 weeks or 3, I got actually been asked to speak on a stage here in Dubai. And that was just how fast this came into fruition without me seeking for that opportunity. Another example, one of my clients who working in a company leading a merger and acquisition project in his company, so pretty significant change and transformation organization, having that vision board and being able to connect with it and embracing that knowing and that certainty that I spoke about has really helped me to stay focused, trusting, confident, believing, and landing the desired client to a signature stage, right? So that's basically what the process of merger and acquisition was very successful, thanks to being really in that energy of certainty and having that vision board, seeing himself already after closing this deal, seeing his organization, his team being very successful with it, and stepping into the great partnerships. And all of that has really played an important role. There are plenty of examples that I could share with you. I think overarching, I want to just pass the message here that creating a vision board is not making a collage, is not just randomly choosing a picture, it's not decoration for your house, it's not woo, is really a transformational tool or one of transformational tools that when you do it from conscious and aligned place, it rewires subconscious. It helps you to bring that vision faster and with more ease to reality, and definitely keeps you more clear and focused in your decision taking. So if you haven't got yet one, that's definitely a time in January to create it. As a matter of fact, 15th of January, I have a workshop dedicated for senior and executive leaders for that. Plus, of course, all the processes on how to bring that vision into reality. So if you would like to explore it, there is a link here below and you can check that out for yourself. There are still the last places, the last spots available to join that workshop and set yourself up for successful 2025 and create that vision from the aligned place. So second point is creating a vision board, intentional, clear, and specific in pictures. The third step is about being very clear on who you need to become in order to realize that vision. It's still part of, from my process of vision boarding, is not only defining what you want, but who you need to become and who you want to become, who you want to embody, who you want to step into so that you can realize that vision. Identity drives your actions. Identity, who you are, drives your behaviors. And identity is much stronger driver than goals, than goal setting. Let's take a very simple example. If a person wants to lose weight and have not worked on identity, most likely there will be some goals attached. I want to lose, 5 pounds. So that will be goal-driven action taking. And it works, but what works even better and with more ease and give a higher rate of success is when that person envision themselves of a version of themselves that already lost the 5 kilo. And they can see how it makes them feel, how they look like, how more confident they become, how good in their body they are, how they show up differently in the relationships, and how their life transforms thanks to that. Because it's not only about the 5 kilo, right? Now, when you have envisioned that identity, tap to the thinking of that person that already lost the 5 kilo. Tap to what this person believes, how this person feels on a daily basis. This is where you start to shape your desired identity of that version of you who already realized the vision. When you have that image and when you afterwards, of course, take decisions to become and align yourself and become that version of yourself, this is going to be a very strong driver from your actions. You would not need to think about your goals. You would just do it because this is your standard, because it's a person who is healthy, who is lighter, who is joyful, who weighs a different kilos. This person pick different choices. This person show up differently and this person feels differently. And that is the driver of the behavior, not the goal itself. And this kind of philosophy can be applied to anything. Once I watched a TED Talk with Dan Lok, who has talked about that power. He gave an example of a guy in that speech that was running every day, no matter the weather. And he asked this guy, how come you are so persistent and determined in doing that every day? And that person said, I'm the runner. So that's what makes a difference. Because this guy's identity was, I am the runner. It's not that I have a goal to run, but I am the runner. That's what I do. That's my standard. So that person doesn't need to set the goal in order to run every day. This is part of their being. This is part of their habits. This is part of the standards they do every day because they is considering himself as a runner. By sharing that with you, I want to invite you to ask yourself who you need to become this year. What kind of leader you need to step into this year or embody this year that will allow you to realize that vision that you want to realize in your life and your leadership, in your business, in your organization. For me, looking back for some years, my important embodiment was about transformational leadership. I wanted to be a transformational leader, and I was not initially. So the steps I took were related with that vision of who is that version of me. Things like acquiring a coaching skills and mindset being a very important part of it. Things like being really mastering my beliefs, my emotions, now my energy as well, has become a part of it, not because of a goal, because I am a transformational leader and that's part of who I am. It's part of my being. So I naturally make choices of investments, of how I spend my time in alignment with being that transformational leader and embodying that, not just talking about how to transform others. That transformational leader that I am is driving a positive change, is challenging the status quo and the paradigm, the old paradigm of leadership that is still so much present into our organizations. And so in order to achieve that vision and make the desired impact, I need to grow to the version of me more clear and bold in my messaging and in my social media, in my podcast, helping others to connect the dots, helping others to see why transforming from within is such an important thing for organizations' lives and for our generations to come. There are other things, of course, that this year will draw my attention into embodying more. And that will be part of my vision board because in essence, the vision board for me encompasses what I want, but also who I am becoming. And of course, the habits that connects with that version of myself. So we covered three things: energy of knowing and deciding that this is going to be the best year yet. We talked about the vision board, how important it is to define what you want and do it in pictures. The third is about defining and shaping who you really, really want to become in order to realize the vision. And of course, fourth is very natural, is investing into becoming, investing in the transformational process, investing in a process that allows you to step into, to embody, to become that version of yourself. Because of course, becoming that version of yourself is going to embrace overcoming your comfort zones, fear, resistance, rewiring certain beliefs, letting go of old conditioning, of patterns and habits that didn't serve you. Those are very important part on this journey. And this journey will not be linear. It never is. And carries, of course, programmed some challenges in the way because you need to go on the other side. You need to overcome your old self to step into your new self, in other words. So investing in that process, for example, time for reflection on a weekly basis to observe yourself, to set yourself intentions. This is what you can do on your own. It's a very powerful process. But also investing means investing in being guided in this process because this process is not easy. And as I always say, we cannot see what is beyond the box when we're inside the box. So successful leaders, extraordinary change makers, of course, investing into diverse support system, into coaches, into programs, and group coaching programs. Sometimes more myself, I also invest in along the year more than one person in order to realize that transformation and my vision that is behind it. And one of my clients needed to step into that transformational leader last year, to realize her vision. And one of the things she needed to overcome was to reduce the self-doubt and reduce putting others' needs above herself towards stepping into seeing her self-worth, health value, and embracing more boldness and courage to show up in her powerful essence. And that transformation from a more doubtful version of yourself towards an empowered version of yourself made a difference in how she has communicated, what kind of projects she launched, also what kind of business and career opportunity she has actually attracted to herself, how she navigated difficult conversation. That made all of a difference. So yes, investing in someone that can support you along the journey is extremely, extremely important. part in becoming that version of yourself, because it's essentially about evolving and transforming yourself to the next and more authentic and more potential version of yourself. And the fifth is about surrounding yourself with people that can rise you up, with people that are like-minded, with people that can challenge you, that can support you, that you can tap their energy and do their mindset, which you can learn from. And sometimes those people will be people that you want to walk with the journey that you are walking to become that next version of yourself. And some of these people will be mentors or others or peers even that you admire and respect, that you want to be connected with. And some of them will be your best friends. So choosing the circle of influence, if we can say it, choosing the circle of people that you want to surround yourself with is also what successful, extraordinary leaders do, because of the power of proximity. You simply become who you surround yourself with. And if you want to become your next level, if you want to realize your ambitious and inspiring you vision, if you want to go to the next step in life and leadership, surrounding yourself with people that already done that, and with those that are along the journey with yourself that are like-minded, is extremely important. And I cherish all those groups and masterminds that I have been part of and created a more longer relationship with, because when I connect with those people, they help me to see what I can't see. And they help me actually to stay focused and stay believing in the vision that I have. Or sometimes they really challenge my way of thinking. And that's so much of value. So those are the 5 steps that I wanted to leave you with, that you can take to set yourself up for a successful 2025. It is about deciding that it's going to be their very best year yet, and embracing that energy of certainty and knowing. It's about setting your vision from an aligned place with clarity, intentionality, and specificity, and best in pictures. It is about defining your identity, who you need to embody more of to realize that vision specifically. Is about number 4, about choosing to invest into becoming that version of yourself. So choosing your transformation and choosing who can guide you in that transformation. And number 5 is also surrounding yourself with like-minded leaders, people that you can learn from, some of them who already done it and some that are along the journey with you. If you would like to join us on the 15th of January in setting up yourself for success for this year, please do so. There are still last spots available there, and the link will be below here in the description. And I wish you joyful and powerful and confident start of 2025. I wish you a lot of fun and joy with this process. And please let me know from these 5 steps that I share with you, which of them inspire you most of, and which one do you plan to implement so that you can prepare for the very best year yet. Thank you very much for listening, and see you next time in 2 weeks.